Alright guys, welcome back once again, WMAC Now with the episode 17 of the WMMA Scene Report. So tonight we have a lot to go over, especially for the last weekend for results and reviews. And then a lot of news, 3 different fights announced today alone. An upcoming event. I got the full lineup for. What else? We got a couple fighters signed to new promotions. So, and then we'll be going over what fights are coming up this weekend. So we've got a lot to dig into. So we'll start with this past weekend. A lot going on. So Combate 30 Mexicali did the live stream for this Friday night, I believe. Yeah, that was this past. No, that was. I'm sorry, that was old. So Friday night we did Invicta FC 34 Porto versus Gonzalez. Did a live stream for that. So in first fight was 125 pounds. Caitlin Sammons defeated Christina Ricker by TKO in the second round due to ground and pound. Sammons improved to 1-0. Excuse me. Christina Ricker fell to 1-2. Nice, quick, fairly quick finish. Good start off to the evening. It's a pretty good fight. Next fight we had at 150-pound catchweight. We had Courtney King defeated Hallie Salazar by submission due to rear naked choke at 4 minutes 46 seconds of round 2. Third fight went back down to 125 pounds. Victoria Leonardo defeated Jamie Milanowski by rear naked choke at 2 minutes 45 seconds of the first round. So nice quick first round finish here. That was a really nice choke. Then next up for the flyweight tournament reserve bout, Tracy Cortez defeated Erin Blanchfield by split decision. It was a very, very close fight. A lot of people felt that Blanchfield won it, especially due to Tracy trying to fend off an armbar for a good bit of the first round. I thought it was a pretty good fight, very close. Cortez, I thought, personally, showed that she still has a lot to work on, especially, I don't want to say fight IQ, we'll say situational awareness. Like, she was winning the stand-up, but she kept wanting to take the fight to the ground. Didn't work out so well when she did sometimes. So Trace Cortez still has that to work on. But she won the reserve bout. So if anyone in the tournament itself has to bow out due to injury, she is available to step in for the finals. There's only a four-person tournament, so there's one more round left to go. Next up, still at 125 pounds, one of the first round fights, or semifinal fight, I guess you could say, of the flyweight tournament. Deanna Bennett defeated Miranda Maverick by unanimous decision. Very typical Deanna Bennett victory. It wasn't the most exciting fight, but she got the job done. Miranda Maverick fell to 4-2. I had picked her to win the fight and the tournament. But if I remember correctly, I also said that, she was the least experienced fighter in the tournament. And I think it kind of showed a bit in this loss to Bennett. So, at this moment, I don't have any idea on who's going to win in the finals fight. Which brings me to the next fight, other semifinal fight at 125 pounds. Karina Rodriguez defeated Milana Dudaeva due to split decision. This is another one that some people online disagreed with a little bit. It was a pretty close fight. I thought Rodriguez, outpointed Dudaeva on the feet. There was a couple times where Dudaeva was able to take Rodriguez to the ground. But, Dudaeva's big problem is that once she gets a fight to the ground, she doesn't do a whole lot with it. I mean, she just really doesn't do a whole lot once she gets it there. It's like, and I said this, in the preview, that her problem is she's a judoka who doesn't know what to do once she gets the fight to the ground. Like, she can get the fight to the ground, whether it's a trip or a toss, but it's like she's waiting for the ref to say Ippon and just declare it a victory. So Dudaeva is going to have to work on that. So that means that Deanna Bennett will be facing Karina Rodriguez in the finals for the flyweight tournament. It'll be interesting to see how this rematch goes, because these two faced off sometime last year, and Deanna Bennett came away with, I believe, was a unanimous decision where she mostly walled and stalled her way to victory. So, not sure who's going to come away with this. Rodriguez knows what she's going to have to do to prepare to win. Bennett already knows what she needs to do because she already did it once. It'll be interesting. For excitement factor alone, I'd prefer Rodriguez to win, but you gotta cheer. You gotta hope that the better fighter comes out the winner. Which brings us to the main event of the evening, the flyweight title fight. Vanessa Porto defeated Pro Gonzalez due to a technical decision. In the fourth round, Pro Gonzalez raked the eye of Vanessa Porto. It actually messed her eye up pretty bad. I mean, she had to get stitches in her upper eyelid of her left eye. The Porto had to, so it was pretty bad. But I thought that Porto deserved the win. I thought she had won every round, I think, or at least two of the three total rounds that were fought, and I thought she was winning the fourth when it was stopped. There's a couple people in the audience that were just really, really not being cool about it, but it was hard to deny that Porto was the winner of that fight. So congrats to Vanessa Porto. She is now the new Invicta FC flyweight champ, and she'll be awaiting the victor of the flyweight tournament to see who her next challenger is going to be. So moving along to, also on Friday night, I did a live stream for the prelims. There's a couple ladies fights. First up was Bellator's first ever atom weight fight. Lindsay Van Zant defeated Tabitha Ann Watkins due to KO at 3 minutes 25 seconds of round 2. I thought it was a pretty good fight. I thought that the ladies did a good job displaying what the atomweight fighters are capable of, and hopefully this means that there will be more atomweight fights in Bellator in the future. I just was reading a post made by Van Zant's management earlier. She is actually still signed to Invicta FC. They've let her take 2 fights outside of the promotion since she fought under them last year. And I believe she is 2-0 in those fights outside of Invicta. So they're waiting on word from Invicta for her next fight. Next up, very next fight at 145 pounds was a featherweight fight that I was actually looking forward to. Amanda Bell defeated Amber Leibrock due to KO. 3 minutes 52 seconds of round 1. Very nice performance by Amanda Bell. Dropped Amber Leibrock with 4 straight uppercuts. Nice finish. Very nice. I thought Leibrock, personally I had picked Leibrock to win. And I was wrong. Not upset though. It was a nice fight while it lasted. Amanda Bell improved to 6-5. Amber Leibrock fell down to 500 record at 3-3. Guys, I have video reviews up for both of those fights. If you get a chance, please check them out. If you haven't watched the fights, I believe these are both available on Bellator's website and on their app. Or if you want to watch the, you have to search for them on the whole event replay on DAZN. The next evening was Bellator 216. Originally scheduled to be 2 ladies fights. One was canceled due to injury. But on the opening up the main card, and probably the highlight of the main card, because it was the only fight really worth watching. After the fact, I mean, you're looking in hindsight, 2020, you know. But Valerie Loretta, the Taekwondo chick, defeated Colby Fletcher by TKO at 2 minutes 55 seconds, round 1 of 3. Very nice debut for Valerie Loretta. Fletcher, I think, did a good job as well. A lot of people were saying she was a can being fed. She didn't act like a can because she was taking it to Loretta. Loretta had a really nice sequence to end the fight. And I thought that Loretta had a very nice debut. She improves to 1-0. Fletcher falls to 1-3. Probably won't see Fletcher again in Bellator, but I hope she's not done with MMA. Looks like we got someone in chat. Mark Zima says, Atomweight KO should help quiet those who expect atomweights must be incapable of KOs. I fully agree. Van Zandt was actually hitting her with a couple of nice hands throughout the first round, and then she got it done in the second. So that was it for Bellator. The next night had UFC on ESPN 1. I think a record 4 fights spread throughout. Or no, I'm sorry. It should have been 4 fights. It was scheduled for 4 fights. Unfortunately, Jessica Penny injured her foot the day of the fights. She was just doing a light warm-up at the hotel before leaving for the venue, and suffered a bad ankle sprain. Unfortunately, her fight had to be canceled versus who is it? I can't remember who it was against now. Someone will remind me later. I'll remember in a minute. So that meant the first fight of the evening, Emily Whitmire at 115 pounds. Emily Whitmire defeated Alexandra Albu by submission due to rear naked choke at 1 minute and 1 second of the first round. Very nice performance by Emily Whitmire. She just outclassed Albu on the ground. She ate a couple punches before taking it there. Then once she got on the ground, she just totally outclassed Albu. So Whitmire actually set a new straw weight record, fastest finish in the division's history. So congrats to Emily Whitmire. Unfortunately, they didn't find that was worthy of the $50K performance of the night bonus, which I thought was pretty messed up. But anyway, congrats to Emily Whitmire. She's improving every fight. Looking forward to what she has. Albu, probably see her again in another year. Next up was Andrea Lee versus Ashley Evans-Smith. Andrea Lee defeated her by unanimous decision. Basically, Evans-Smith started out strong, but then ran out of steam pretty quick. I think she's just too drained at 125 pounds personally. They're both pretty big for flyweight. Andrea Lee just basically picked her apart for 2.5, 3 rounds. It wasn't the prettiest of fights, but it wasn't the prettiest of fights. But Lee, I think, showed some nice, crisp striking. Not the fastest, but very nice, very crisp, very accurate. Evans-Smith, I thought, should have been setting up the takedowns from the very beginning, and she failed to do so. And then as she got tired, she found the takedowns even harder to get. So hopefully she learns from this loss. And then up on the main card, Cynthia Calvillo defeated Courtney Casey by unanimous decision. I thought this fight was a lot better than a lot of people are saying. Was it the most action-packed, exciting fight? No. I think we saw some improvements in some areas from both fighters. I thought Courtney Casey showed a lot better takedown defense than she's ever shown before. She also showed much better situational awareness and fight IQ than she has in the past. Her biggest problem was she just wasn't putting out the volume that she needed to for this fight. And that allowed Cynthia Calvillo, the far more active fighter, to defeat her. I thought Calvillo would have tried to take her to the ground a lot more often, but she decided that she was going to kickbox with Casey, which personally I thought would have been a bad idea, but I mean, she won the fight that way, so hey, it works for her. Good for Cynthia Calvillo. She improves to 8-1. Courtney Casey, unfortunately, drops to 8-7 overall. Cynthia Calvillo is one of these fighters that the UFC likes to push and give fights to fairly fast. So if she doesn't have a fight signed by the end of this week, probably expect one by the end of next week. So that's it for this past weekend, which takes us to the news. Okay, so One Warrior Series is going to the third One Warrior Series event, which is run by One Championship. It's the event they hold at the end of every season of their One Warrior Series like reality TV show. It's like they keep changing the format, but a lot of it is very similar to Dana White's Looking for a Fight. Some episodes, it's more like Ultimate Fighter, although they never bring a whole bunch of fighters together and make them live in the same house. But it combines some aspects of a little bit of pretty much every MMA-based reality show that's been out there. So at 115 pounds, they have Yuko Suzuki, who I can't find any record on, so I guess she's maybe making her pro debut, versus Soyul Kim, who is 2-1. She is currently 1-1 at the One Warrior Series, so she hasn't been picked up by One Championship yet. At 125 pounds, Nylene Crowley, 3-0 versus Jeon Sa. Nylene Crowley is one of the fighters, is the fighter that has a victory over Soyul Kim in the previous fight. Jeon Sa, I've talked about on my channel a few times. I've done some reviews of her fights. She is 6-3. I'm very surprised she's fighting at 125 pounds because she had actually talked about going down in weight. I guess she's taking the fight that was available to her. I don't know. Or maybe she thought that because they called it strawweight, she thought it was 115 pounds. I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully, I'll get to that in a second. 115 pounds. Adila Johani, 1-2 versus Tan Shiyin. I don't have anything on Tan Shiyin. I don't know. Not familiar with either of these. And then a third fight at 115 pounds. Anita Karam, 1-0 versus Gita Suharsono, who is 1-0. So that is on February 28th. That's a Thursday. I'm not sure if there will be a live stream available for this or not. If there is, I'll try to put up an update on that. Also in the news, Bellator has signed Russian Sambo champ Marina Magnetkina to its featherweight division. Magnetkina currently has a record of 4-0, and her Sambo accolade, she has, you name it, she has it. She's been a national champ, a world champ, you name it, she's done it in Sambo. She's 30 years old. Okay, here it is. 30 years old. Magnetkina is a 6-time Russian Sambo champion, 2-time European champion, and most importantly, a 4-time world champion, which is the highest level of the sport. She turned pro in June 2016. All of her victories are by submission, 2 by armbar, 1 by Achilles lock, and 1 by knee bar. All of them came in under 3 minutes. And her last fight was a title loss to Liana Jojua at Fight Nights Global in February. Magnetkina hasn't been fought since February 2018, so no debut date yet, but so we'll see. Anyway, that's good on Bellator to grow their featherweight division. Also announced today, at 135 pounds, Sarah Morris versus Leah Letson has been added to UFC Ottawa May 4th. At 125 pounds, Paige Van Zant versus Polyana Botelho has been added to UFC 236 April 13th. PVZ's coming off a recent win. Polyana Botelho, I think she's coming off her loss to Cynthia Calvillo a few months back. And she is moving up in weight. So good for her to decide that, you know, she said, Botelho said that her weight cut was getting too hard for her, so she was going to move up in weight. So good for her. And then also announced today, at 135 pounds, Irene Aldana versus Bethe Correia has been added to UFC 237, and that's May 11th. I believe both Aldana is coming off a win, but she hasn't fought in a while. Bethe Correia hasn't fought since she lost to Holly Holm over a year ago. She suffered an eye injury. I believe she suffered a broken orbital. And this fight was to be made originally, but the doctor would not clear Bethe Correia to fight at the time. Hopefully her eye's better and, she is able to fight again. Because fight-ending injury or career-ending injury would just be a shame. Bethe is not the most skilled fighter, but she's usually not in boring fights. And I think Aldana is the type that would bring an exciting fight out of Bethe. Lastly, in the news, Irene Aldana and Alexa Grasso's teammate Paulina Vargas has signed with Combate. She will be fighting the event, and she is a flyweight. Which, speaking of Combate, that brings me to this weekend. Events this Friday, the 22nd. Combate 31, Mexico versus USA, has a couple of ladies' fights. At 115 pounds, Sheila Padilla at 3-2 is taking on Carissa Segala at 4-0. Let me see if Segala has fought anybody familiar. No, I don't recognize Segala. So apparently Segala has had all 4 fights of her fights in Gladiator Challenge. 2 fights are over the same person. And she's finished all of them. So 3 of them in the first round. So that'll be interesting to see. Sheila Padilla is a Bellator veteran. She actually was Kerry Melendez's debut fight. But she is currently 3-2. She's coming off a loss she hasn't fought since November of 2017, where she lost to Elizabeth Lopez Silva. She was supposed to have a fight against Paulina Granados last year, but that got canceled. And then in the flyweight division, the co-main event is going to be Zoila Frausto coming in at 13-5 versus Jamie Navarra coming in at 7-4. So Jamie Navarra, she's fought for Bellator before. She's fought in LFA. She actually holds a win over Frausto's sister Stephanie at Bellator 154 back in 2016. But of course, most people would remember her most recent fight. She lost to Antonina Shevchenko at Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series in the second round, which resulted in Shevchenko getting signed to the UFC. And whereas, let's see, Frausto actually hasn't fought MMA in quite a while. She's been fighting Muay Thai and kickboxing. I watched her fight in Glory, I believe. So yeah, she has not fought MMA since February of 2016. At Tachi Palace Fights 26, she took a unanimous decision win over Karina Herrera, who is far less experienced. Before that, Frausto had racked up a 4-fight losing streak through Bellator, Invicta, and RFA. So this will be Frausto's first fight back in quite a while. Let's see what's going on in chat. Mark Zima says, Aldana has had 2 UFC Fight of the Nights. Do you think Bethe can help take it to 3 Fight of the Nights? Can she? Yes. Will she? We'll have to see. Bethe is usually a slugger. Aldana's far more technical. Should make for an interesting fight. What else is this weekend? UFC Fight Night Prague. It'll be on ESPN Plus if you're in the States. a couple women's fights. 125 pounds, Jillian Robertson versus Veronica Macedo. Robertson's coming in having suffered a loss in her last fight to Mayra Bueno Silva. That was a few months back. Veronica Macedo is coming in with a 2-loss streak. So her most recent one was 8 months ago. Lost to Andrea Lee by unanimous decision. Robertson has been earning her name, the Savage, lately. I expect her to come away with the win in this fight. But we'll have to see. Macedo has some really nice kicks. Robertson, I believe, is a lot better on the ground. And what else is on UFC? Also at 125 pounds, Liz Carmouche coming in 12-6, taking on Lucia Pudilova, the native Czech fighter, at 8-3. I don't expect this fight to be pretty. I expect the Guerrilla Liz Carmouche to Guerrilla Pudilova all around the mat. Pudilova does have the advantage striking, but I haven't seen anything in her ground game that makes me think that she'll be able to keep it standing against Carmouche. Carmouche isn't that bad on the feet. She has the type of stand-up that will get the job done, but mostly just enough to get it to the ground. So that's it for this coming weekend. I believe Cynthia Arcio has a fight this weekend for King of the Cage. I haven't been able to find anything about who her opponent is. So guys, that's about it for this past weekend. That's it for the show really this week. I will be doing a live stream Friday night for Combate Americas, so keep an eye out for the start time. And until then, guys, have a good week. And what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Guys, have a good night.